So country singer Jason Aldean's riled up the wokest cultist, so much so that the CMT network has actually banned his music video for his hit song, Try That in a Small Town. The reason being? Well, apparently Jason Aldean's new song is somehow racist.
No way.
How, you ask? Well, the song is alluding to the BLM rioters of 2020 who destroyed cities in the wake of George Floyd's death. I say alluding to because he never actually once mentions BLM or any specific group in the song, but the intent is obvious, and he basically says, if you try that in my town, we're gonna respond. Race is never even once mentioned in the song. Honestly, the only way you can pull a racist narrative from this song is if you go into it presuming race in the first place. And that would seem to make you the racist, not Aldean or anyone who supports his music. At its core, it's basically just a self-defense song. That's it. Even taking race out of the equation, I can see how the simple concept of self-defense would still have elicited the response to this song that we've seen over the past couple of days. Because self-defense is a right that lefties do not want you to have. They view your right to defend yourself as an existential threat to their ability to terrorize you, and they hate that. Speaking of which, Sunny Hostin, one of the co-hosts on The View, stated that Jason Aldean's hometown of Macon, Georgia is one of the most racist places in the country. Macon is 54% black and 36% white. So if her assertion is true, where's the racism coming from, Sunny? Also, Sunny is hardly a fair objector. She's the type of person who would rather see an innocent person thrown in prison if it meant that her social political views were upheld in the court of public opinion. Don't believe me? Watch her commentary on the George Zimmerman case toward the end of that trial. When the facts were laid bare for all to see, she too laid bare for all to see her special brand of stupidity. Sunny ain't too bright, no pun intended. And for those of you outraged over this music video, were you also outraged back in 2019 when Joyner Lucas released a music video in which he seems to call for the death of his political enemies, with lyrics such as, "Give us pun, give us triple X, take that N-word of Trump with you, he's a bigger threat." And for context, Joyner Lucas is in this song speaking, quote unquote, with God and asking him to bring back dead rappers and in their place to take people like Donald Trump. He goes on to say, "'Cause Trayvon Martin, all he did was try to fight back. Zimmerman walks around free, and we don't like that." Well, if Joyner Lucas had paid any attention to the evidence of the case, he would know that it was in fact Zimmerman who was defending himself from the aggressive Trayvon Martin, who straddled him and beat his head into the concrete as he yelled for help. As the one eyewitness close enough to the incident to identify them attested. And here is a particularly disturbing lyric which helps you to really get into Joyner's head. He goes on to say, "Take them N-words who deserve to die instead." And he immediately follows that up with, "Tomi Lahren run her mouth and then she get defensive. Laura Ingraham laughing at death and then she disrespect it. I really feel like you should teach them stupid hoes a lesson." End quote. Somehow I'll bet you were silent when it came to that, right? And what about Marilyn Manson depicting a headless Donald Trump? Was that okay? It seems that this sort of behavior is okay only when it's directed at people who are not on the left side of the political aisle. But that's neither here nor there, because Jason Aldean's song and music video was not an attack on anyone, but instead it was a declaration that we will defend ourselves if need be. I'm Switchblade, done.